Alright, after a while we finally got some cool support for Cardinals and a new Divine Sister boss unit that is a solo one. So let's begin. So we start off with a Stokeo promo, Spinning Corolla Reminisce, which is a grade 2 with taking power on the skills. Auto when placed on rearguard on top of a token unit, look at top 5 cards of your deck to choose up to one glitter or one ordered card that is not regardless piece from among them, reveal it and put it in your hand, of course shuffle your deck. You're able to run token engines in certain Stokeo decks, so it's not entirely too bad, but obviously it is meant for basically the glitter deck, or Roroa, in which the second skill is Auto Rearguard. When this card attacks at least a grade 3 unit while you have a token unit on rearguard, plus 5k power into the end battle. Overall, not too bad for some consistency boost. Not entirely too sure if the Roroa deck really needs it, although Roroa does generate a lot of tokens, so it is actually possible just to call this on top of the token anyway, so very likely chance you're going to get the condition very easy anyway, so overall it's not too bad, although there might be better stuff to run. And then we go to Divine Skill Lyrical Support, which is called High Five. I was not expecting that at all. But anyway, you can play this from the drop zone as well, and you play it by counterblasting 1. So if your Vanguard is Divine Skill, you can play it without paying the costs. So you bind this card, draw a card, and choose one card from your hand, reveal it, and if it's a unit card that is grade less than or equal to your Vanguard, call it to rearguard, and then discard it if it's not. And then if you call it to rearguard while your Vanguard is at least grade 3, into the end turn it gets this ability. Auto, when this unit leaves the rearguard, choose one of your units, it gets plus 5k power in the end turn, and that unit also gets plus 5k. Considering that Lyrical has a lot of bouncing, this is actually not too hard to activate, especially since you could just bounce that unit back to hand and then trigger more skills. Honestly, it is technically a 1-for-1 trade, especially for a Divine Skill deck, but having more bounce options is pretty nice, even though certain decks probably don't need it. And then to a new Divine Sister, Arroz con Leches, which is a grade 3 with 13 power, and the skill is Act Vanguard. Once per turn, cost counterblast 1, look at top 7 cards of your deck to choose up to 2 Divine Sisters from among them, choose one of the revealed cards, put it to your hand, and then call the other revealed card. The remaining cards go to the bottom of the deck. So basically a restricted +2, which is pretty nice, although despite having a good amount of Divine Sisters, not all of them are pretty good. But so far with this alone, it's not too bad. But anyway, second skill, Act Vanguard. Once per turn, when this card attacks, cost Soul Blast 1 Divine Sister, and choose one of your rearguards that is Divine Sister and stand it, and then it gets this ability into the end of turn. Auto Rearguard, when this card attacks, this card gets plus 5k power for each grade of the unit, and at the end of the turn, put that unit into Soul. And then if you Soul Blasted the same card name as this card for the cost, you choose 2 cards instead. So basically if you do a Persona Ride turn, you basically choose 2 units for the extra power, and there's also other soul charge options as well, so overall it isn't too bad. You get the multi-attack with this, default is at least 4 attacks, and you also got your Divine Sister searching, which is also pretty nice. But like I said, since it's a solo boss unit, it is a little awkward, and the card pool of Divine Sisters isn't that great. If anything, this needs the Direful Doll treatment where it needs its whole entire ride line and deck. And now to the new Cardinal cards. So we start off with Cardinal Fang Charisma, which is a grade 3 with the power and the skills. Act Rearguard. If you have at least a grade 3 Vanguard Orphis, cost Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, retire this unit, and call 2 Shadow Army tokens to rearguard. This isn't entirely too bad despite being a bit overcosted, but at the same time not really, because basically you trade in this one smaller beater for 2 big beaters, especially for the early attacks. So it's considerable. And then we go to Cardinal Draco Decomanus, which is grade 1 with 8 power and skills. Auto, when placed on rearguard from hand, if your world is either Dark Knight or Crystal Dark Knight, search your deck for one roll card and put it to the drop zone and force shuffle your deck, and this card gets with 2k power in a turn. Compared to many of the world searchers that go to the drop zone, this one is free. Cubisa is restricted to top 7, and you've got the Orphis Mask one, which costs you a counterblast. So this is already a huge improvement, and might even replace the Orphis Mask one overall, because the second skill makes it even better where Act Drop. If your Vanguard is at least a grade 3 Orphis, cost Energy Blast 2, bind this card, call a Shadow Army token to rearguard. Yes, you can even use this skill from drop zone, which is also discard fodder, which makes this card pretty nice. And kind of also a call on top target, since Orphis Mask needs to call on top of something, so that drop zone skill is actually easily accessible, especially comboing from the call from hand for the world search. And also, since the deck doesn't use much energy, also a nice new addition. And then next week for set 8, we got the Vortex Dragon ride line that's for the Deer Days. Although since it's a Deer Days ride line, I hope they don't pull the Graham Grace Fafnir route where they just basically copy and paste it for Dragon Empire, but it also includes its support, so that might be nice. And so that's it for the new Cardinal support with some promos. What do you guys think of it? Promo-wise, pretty good, especially Divine Sister, the Loner Boss unit, which is actually interesting. Kind of wish that it was actually kind of like the Direful Doll treatment, where they actually made a whole dedicated deck for it. But as for Cardinals, pretty interesting and actually worth testing compared to the previous sets, actually. But on that, that's it for this, and see you all next time.